Hi Irina, it's Gwendolyn here. Really great to see your next set of essays and good to see your corrected essays. I had a look through that along with your error list. Good job for taking the time to do those corrections. I think it's really important. So well done with that. Let's go ahead and look at your next set of essays and let's start with your task 2 here on traditional education. You did a fantastic job here, Irina, on looking at both sides of the task response. You have some good ideas and good examples to back up your idea. Very clear and coherent essay to read. There were just a few grammatical things, but let's read through that. Not too much, so overall, really good essay. In every country around the world, public education is using an old-fashioned schooling meant to destroy native talents. I believe that a revolution should be made in order to promote alternative systems. Yeah, I don't think this phrasing is necessary. I think it just really adds some confusion. I would be inclined to just put a full stop there. I mean, you're okay on your word count, so maybe just to make it a little more concise. In this essay, I will discuss this issue using examples from a Harvard study and a specific case inspired from real life to demonstrate points and support arguments. Good, really good introduction there, Irina. Firstly, I'm not a big fan of firstly and secondly, although they're fine. I think there's more high-level transitions that you can use to get higher points on your lexical resource score. Maybe you could say to begin with. To begin with, although public education is the most preferred way of tuition, comma, there are many alternatives available. Good, really strong first sentence there. This is because nowadays homeschooling is starting to grow and grows pretty low-level vocabulary, so maybe we could use the word increase. Homeschooling is starting to increase in popularity in many developed countries. Even if some parents are conservative, good phrase there, good word there. Regarding this new trend, they are aware of the educational system's failure. Take, for instance, a recent Harvard study which showed that children who studied at home had greater marks at the annual testing than traditional school students. Just to clarify that a little bit more. Therefore, studying at home can be an excellent choice. Yeah, so maybe here, so therefore studying at home can be an excellent choice for the educational system. Something to describe the choice, some sort of adjective there. Secondly, maybe here you could use furthermore. Furthermore, traditional education is underestimating talents. I don't know about the word making. I think I would use the word doing more harm than good. This is due to the fact that there is more interest in developing academic rather than artistic abilities. As an example, Gillian Lynn, a well-known choreographer and ballerina, comma, was terrible at learning school subjects, I think would be the more precise word there to use. Subjects, S-U-B-J-E-C-T, subjects. Even her parents thought, instead of were thinking, even her parents thought she was suffering from attention disorder. However, instead of giving her medication, a doctor discovered her, use her pronoun there, her remarkable talent, and his advice changed, no article there, changed Gillian's destiny. Good vocabulary. Thus, the education system has to recognize a child's talent and to expand it. In conclusion, it is time for the traditional education to be changed and reconstructed for a modern society. Home education can be an alternative, comma, but whatever the choice, is it has to benefit the children with the article there. Good, really good essay here, Irina. Good examples, good ideas, just a few grammatical things, but overall fantastic essay. So do your task 1. Okay, Irina, I read through your task 1 here. I thought you did a really good job of the task response. You've done exactly what you needed to do, comparing and contrasting the key data, starting with the information that takes up the biggest portion of the pie chart. Good conclusion. Just a little shy on the word count, so you've written 147 words. So maybe I think you could have fixed that by just putting a short introduction here, which would have been good to see. So let's have a read through it. I'll give you a suggestion for the introduction, but overall I thought it was really good. The pie charts, you could say, because there's more than one, charts could be plural and then that would become singular. The pie charts illustrate the UK Council outgoings. Good, fantastic synonym word there. Outgoings in 2014, distributed by 3 regions, Yorkshire, Derbyshire and Lancashire. Good, distributed, great word. On the one hand, we don't need an article in front of our regions there, so we can take that out. Usually only articles in front of collective proper nouns, and this one isn't, so you would just say, on the one hand, Derbyshire, and no has there, Derbyshire spent more money on leisure compared to the other 2 regions. However, the expenditure on education was equal in Yorkshire and Lancashire, opposed to, I think it's instead of opposite, opposed to Derbyshire, which spent 10% less. Regarding the cost of community care, there was, so past tense, keep with your past tense there, there was a slight variation between regions, the smallest slice belonging, ing, to Lancashire. On the other hand, fewer money, usually we say less money, and then past tense was spent, so less money was spent on social services, environment, and other outgoings, distributed unequally in every region. As it can be seen from the chart, in Derbyshire, only 2% of the council's money was spent on social services, compared to the other regions at 15% and 10%, and maybe you can add that word respectively. To summarize, the figures show a considerable variation in council expenditure in the UK regions, although most of the costs were distributed between leisure and education. Good. Good conclusion. Maybe that's why you didn't do an introduction. I probably would have put something like that in the introduction. Maybe a simple intro here that could have said, it can be seen from the charts given that the expenditure between the 3 regions during 2014 were relatively the same for each category. I mean, they were relatively the same. There were a few anomalies there, but most of them were pretty much the same. But by adding the introduction, we'll just make sure you increase your word count just enough to make sure you have 150. And that was the biggest thing there. Right, Irina, good job on these 2 essays. If you are writing these within the time limit, I think you are there or thereabouts for getting that 7.0 on the IELTS exam. So yeah, let me know where you are in terms of your timing on these. What I'd like you to do, Irina, is go ahead and add any mistakes to your error list, correct these 2 essays with the suggestions given. And then what I'm going to do, Irina, is because I really want you to make sure that you pass your exam this time, is I'm going to offer you 2 free additional essay checks. And these last 2 essay checks I want you to do under exam conditions. I want you to time yourself, and I want you to submit to me exactly what you would have done in exam conditions. So with that time frame, if you finish writing your essays, go back and review and check, but don't do anything over the 60 minutes so that I can review your essays based on relatively test exam conditions. Do that, get that back to me so I can have a look at it and we can give a final sort of comment on where you're at. All right, Irina, have a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing these last two essays soon. Bye for now.